Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to Downside Up. Before we go around and say hello to all these wonderful players around today's table, please check out the following links. First of all, check out our social links. We have Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Discord, the place where you can come and socialize. There is no such thing as social distancing. It is a lie. There is physical distancing, though, and you can carry on being social with tools like Discord. Our Discord especially is where most of the Scratticus Academy fam come and hang out. It's real nice, tight, close-knit. Come and be a part of it. I'll stop punching my mic at some point. Twitter, we put out tweets every day, announcing shows, we put out memes, we talk about things coming up. At the moment, we're talking about Alice's birthday. We're talking about the Scarathon stream this weekend. We're talking about our charity stream for Games for Love in the 19th of June. So check all those things out, retweet them, signal boost, get everyone in here. Let's raise some money for sick kids and all sorts of good stuff. And YouTube, there are 6,000 hours of YouTube content over there for you to fill all of your quarantine time, if you are still in quarantine. I know some parts of the world are starting to ease up. Next up, we also have sponsors. Check out Mage Hand Press. Today's show is brought to you by Mage Hand Press. We're playing the Fey Folio, which is their Feywild expansion for 5e. All of their PDFs currently have a 25% discount. So if you like what you see, head over to their store. Also, check out Dark Matter. It's an expansion in space. If you like D&D and you like space, you'll love that book. It's also available in hardback from your local game store if they happen to use Diamond Comics Publishing, which is a pretty popular publisher. And it's a way to support them if they've had to close during the... as long as they can do delivery. Also, check out The Deck of Many. The Deck of Many currently have a Kickstarter running right now. It's currently 3,000% funded. It was funded in 15 minutes, in fact. It's one of them Kickstarters that I know in about 2 months' time, when we all start playing with the products, people are going to be like, I really wish I'd funded that one. And I'm telling you now, don't be that person. Go and get your hands on their new sets of animated picture cards. They're currently kickstarting level 6 to 9 SRD spells and animated tarot cards. In fact, their next goal is $700,000, at which, when they hit that tier, they will release a deluxe tarot card box set. And it looks pretty hype. We've still got 15 days to go on the 15 days to go on the Kickstarter. We've got a lot more than 15 days. So go and fund it. Also, they also did Sina Una, which I have a link for. I have a link to hand. Admittedly, no, there won't be even any scrolling because it's in Discord. So all I've got to do is click on this wonderful little yes.
Is this stalling, Scrat? Are you stalling?
No. There's the link in chat now. The Deck of Many also published Sina Una. Why do we shout that out during this stream? We'll be publishing Sina Una. Why do we shout that out in this stream? Because the lead writer and lead producers and all the other wonderful things are here to talk about it. They're going to give us a wonderful pitch when we go around. I bet. You wait. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be fireworks in the background. There's artwork in the background already. They've really blown the production value on this one. It's going to be amazing. The budget is enormous. Also, check out Hero Forge. Hero Forge.
Scrat, you got sleep. Why are you like this?
I did get sleep. This is why I'm like this. Hero Forge, you just found us playing with the Hero Forge Color Mini Creator, the beta tool, which was funded by their $3.1 million Kickstarter, 6,000% funded, creating these custom miniatures in full color. This is not a painted mini. This is printed in full color, printed resin. It looks phenomenal. You can see us making characters. Alice made an absolutely horrifying bunny creature earlier. We'll share it on Twitter tomorrow.
They're beautiful.
They were beautiful, but also terrifying in a way that only Alice can manage. Last, but most certainly not least, Dungeon Fog. Dungeon Fog is where you can get all of your map making requirements covered. Top-down maps that you can share with your players. Print them out, share them in VTTs, and all sorts of other ways. Loads of wallpapers, loads of floors, loads of assets that you can add. So, and you can also check out all of their premium assets to add to your maps for your players to find as well. You can unlock those with a 10% discount using our special code SCRATAC. Now, I've been talking about sponsors and links and all sorts of things for a long old time. Why don't we hand over to Mackenzie to introduce everyone? The very famous Mackenzie, recently on Mac Talk, Todd Talks, and plenty of other fantastic places.
I'm tired, and we have just started. My God. Anyways, hi, I'm Mackenzie Lane Day on Twitter. Apparently, D&D Beyond's valedictorian. So hold on to your butts, Sam and Liam. I'm coming for your presidency. Anyways, you can find me usually yelling on Twitter about that. You can find me working with D&D Beyond with some cool projects coming up. You can also find me working with MCDM for Kingdoms of Warfare as lead writer for the Islands of Sina Una, which Paladin will be happy to talk about, and then as one of the players over on Zyra over in Gilding Light with Zyra every Friday. Paladin, don't give me that look. You're the co-director. I just make your ideas reality. Anyways, HGT Paladin, you're next. Who are you? Give a good spiel. You're on the spot.
Well, apparently I'm someone who's being forced marketing upon. So thank you, Scrat, and thank you, Mackenzie, for both birthing this responsibility and then shoving this responsibility onto me.
Paladin, we've literally talked about this prior to stream.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
That's a full lie.
I said you were the one who promotes Sina Una, not me. We have said that before.
I don't like your words right now. I didn't like them last week with the egg. I don't like them right now with the islands.
But you hired me to word for Sina Una.
Hi, I'm Paladin. I think I'm glad to be here. And I'm the co-director for the Islands of Sina Una, now being produced by Hit Point Press.
Who are you playing?
I'm playing Floos, an Aarakocra as frustrated as I am.
Oh, it's good. All right, and then let's hop down to Megan. Oh, hi. Who are you, and who are you playing?
I am Bullets and Bracelets in the chat. Megan_star9 on Twitter because Bullets and Bracelets is too long for a Twitter handle. And I will be playing Dawn, who is a Dragonborn fighter of the brass variety.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I don't think we've had I actually don't see a lot of people playing Dragonborn that often, but I'm super excited. Next, let's go around to Professor PFM. Oh, hi. Who are you, and who are you playing?
Hi, my name is Patrick. Everybody can find me on Twitter at Professor PFM. I'm also the Dungeon Master on the Misfits_Guide at Twitter podcast. And yeah, I'm very, very happy to be here. I will be playing Klax, a little kobold artificer. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting character.
I'm so excited. We got a little preview of your character voice before we started to stream, and I am so excited. Last but certainly not least, Scratticus, we know who you are, but who are you playing?
Today I'll be playing Friday. Friday is a half-orc who originally came from Ravnica and wanted to get back to Ravnica, but the more time she spends here, the more she thinks, you know.
That's so helpful and specific.
Which is exactly how she feels.
All right, is there anything anyone else would like to say or mention, or shall we jump back into the Feywilds? All right. Then let's get ready to jump back into the wonderful, wonderful world of the Feywilds. Last we left the machinations of the Fey. Friday had been pulled into the Feywild by the mysterious Fey Sovereign. As she journeyed to find her way home, through which she manages to do so by putting together pieces of a clock, she ran into the Aarakocra bard Floos, who had been sent on a mission by his mysterious patron known as his lady to help Friday repair time and find a way home. Because in this version of the Feywild, time and space are one and the same. You fix one, you find your way home with the other. Our last adventures led our little intrepid party to the underground caverns of the Feywild, in which Floos and Friday's traveling companions, the mechanical bird 12 and the small child Dodie, were exploring in search of a mysterious professor. As they ran into cohorts of the professor along their journey, Floos was accosted by some flares of magic running through the caverns. Following this magic led them to discovering a couple of things, one of which was a mural in which Floos's likeness was portrayed, though the mural itself was ancient and far beyond time. The second thing was an egg. it's a golden egg, and it's a very pretty egg, but it was an egg. Said egg also awakened a couple wild elementals, which are creatures of pure magic. And after defeating said elementals, the party was able to retrieve the egg, say goodbye to the professor and his companions, and continue deeper into the caverns under Doty's lead. And that is where we return to the party today, with Floos and Friday following the small elven child through the caverns. Doty still kind of has that messy hair sort of kind of pulled back now, and is sort of roughly shaking this golden egg about yay big, about almost as big as her head, sort of this crystalline thing of gold with this sort of white light bubbling inside it. You can see her kind of shaking it and almost trying to like sticking her tongue out as she tries to pry it open. And on her shoulder is this small mechanical bird, which you have known as 12, sort of pecking at it as well. Eventually, she just sort of huffs and then walks back over to Floos. Okay, you can have this. I don't want it.
Floos takes the egg and just keeps walking.
Okay. And then she sort of huffs a little, and can both of you make me either perception or an insight check?
Sure.
Sorry, that was me, the other person taking the insight?
Yes, you two.
Do I want to go with the 3 or the 3? The 3!
Totally have my character sheet. Okay, now I've got it open. It was a perception check. I know this because it's right there. Yep. Boom! I see everything!
Double nat 20s?
Okay. That happened. So,
It happens a surprising amount, actually. It's also how I first noticed the golden child.
Yep. Cool. So, okay, we'll start with Floos. So, on a 16, you notice as you're walking, Doty seems a little bit more irritated than normal. You can tell it's a little bit of frustration. Sort of at a loss of what to do, possibly thinking the egg was something that she needed, but it ended up not being. You can also see her fiddling with something around her neck that you hadn't noticed she had before. It's almost like an ocarina, sort of carved of this silvery birch wood. You can see she's fiddling with it and sort of shaking it as she's walking. On a nat 20, though, as you're walking, Friday, you notice those things, as well as you can feel the air around you getting a little bit damp. You can see the caverns itself, the ceilings. You can still see them, but they're stretching up higher and higher and higher, almost forming like a second sky. You can feel this musty air sort of cloying around you, and you can, as you're walking, you can see more as the veins of magic running through these rocks sort of give way to moss crawling up things. You can see underground trees starting to grow as you can enter into the swampy air. On a nat 20, you can also see more of those cave paintings you had noticed earlier, painted along these walls. You can see some things painted along trees. And on a nat 20, I'll also give you this. You catch a very distinct motif of a sun and a moon, but they're not squished together like you have always seen them. You can see the sun and the moon, but they are whole, and they are always separate, but never one higher than the other. They are not squished where it's half a sun, half a moon. They are separate.
And they're the same symbol.
You can tell it's like from the symbol you've seen, the half a sun, half a moon. Whenever you've seen it, it's that symbol, but if they had been
They're
separated.
still separated.
Yes.
Okay, I've got to do it. On a nat 25, I'm now seeing this symbol everywhere. I'm interpreting this nat 20 as I'm like literally seeing this freaking symbol when I'm sleeping. Now I'm not sure if I'm delirious, if I'm just seeing it everywhere and happen to see a real one, or if it's just literally everywhere. So
It's like that scene in Tangled where it's like, oh god, the sun is everywhere. It's that.
I would like to make a history check, please,
Oh my god,
to
please.
try and figure out
Please.
where this thing has come from. And we can, I think, Friday's gonna stop in her tracks, okay? There's gonna be, like, description, by the way, 6'2", half orc with, like, light grey, almost light blue colored skin, dark hair tied back in dreads with a bundle. It goes wild when she does stuff that she doesn't really acknowledge. Dressed almost like a legionnaire with a shiny breastplate and the sort of legionnaire's skirt, which would be familiar as a guildmate of Azorius uniform, if anyone in this plane cared. And she's literally doing the GIF right now, the thinking GIF, the
With all the
trigonometry
numbers?
going, the sine wave, the equations for pi. I'm going to use an advantage. That's how much I'm using an
Yes.
advantage left over from last week, okay? Here
Come
we
on,
go.
get me double nat ones.
Okay, a 13.
Okay, hold on. So we get another chance at egg. Sorry, we're just putting a message in chat. So on a 13, wow, you're starting to recognize this symbol as a pattern. You see it all the time. You're starting to recognize that the symbol is associated with a couple things. One is every single person or creature you've met that is associated with the clock you're putting together has the symbol on their person. The second thing you're noticing is that when you're looking at these cave paintings, the symbols are associated with a particular feminine-looking figure. I will also say, because you did hit a nat 20, as you're sort of looking and you're looking at these figures, there are two of them. And you've noticed that things seem to come in twos when it comes to the sun and moon. They look exactly the same. And they look like an older version of Dodie. They look they look at once very much like the image of the queen you had seen back in the Eventide Bastion, when you had pulled the Void card, essentially. And they also look, as you study a little bit closer, they look like older versions of Dodie.
Friday does not start bleeding profusely. I just accidentally caught my nose. So, maybe she does though. Maybe she starts to get a little bit of a nosebleed. Just trying to piece all this together,
There's a little sort of tug on your armor. You all right?
Are you, in fact, somehow related to that symbol, Dodie?
I mean, maybe?
Why did you tell me a little about it? Floos, do you see the symbol too?
Does Flu see the symbol?
If Friday, are you pointing it out?
Yeah. I'll as I say, I'll gesture towards it.
Yes, then you see it.
Yeah, I reckon I do.
That symbol's important.
I mean, oh yeah, 12's got it, doesn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, he has it on his chest.
Oh yeah. How long have you had that, 12?
Since you met me.
Yeah. That
You
symbol's
are very
important.
bad at noticing things.
Yes, I am.
And let's pan really quickly over to Clax and Dawn, as you contemplate the symbol. Clax and Dawn, you have stumbled into the Feywild, accidentally. It's been a couple of, it's hard to keep track of time in the Feywild, partly because, when you're outside, the sky is an eternal twilight, and now that you're underground, it's even harder to keep track of the hours. But you've been wandering for some amount of time. But you can sort of feel as you're sort of walking down, you can see these trails of magic sort of running through the ground you're walking on, almost as if dividing it like cobblestones. You can feel that almost other planar energy. Even if you're not in tune with magic itself, you can feel that sort of that break in between the planes, that sort of floaty liminality that as you're walking. And you can also feel this air around you sort of get hot and muggy. And you can start to see greenery curling around these rocks. You can see the cavern again stretching up and up and up to almost like a second sky. What do you two look like? I won't put either of you on this. Whoever wants to go first can go first.
I can go first. Dawn is middling height, average stature, a little stronger. Doesn't look like she moves very quick. But she is a brass-scaled dragonborn. And she's in very nice armor that doesn't look like it's gotten a whole lot of use. Chainmail. And carries these two large weapons at her back, a glaive and a greatsword. And she has these golden eyes. And she is looking around like she has never seen anything like this before, still.
Standing right down by her side, you see this 2.25, 2.5 foot kobold. These red scales on his face. You can see one of his hands is out, but it looks like it has like some sort of metal something on it, little contraption. He's got black and brown leather straps all around his chest, holding what appears to be some simple cloth garb, but it also almost looks like it's leather armor. From his belt, there's all these little metal objects, but probably appear to be some sort of a wide array of tools. He's got a bag probably a little bit too big for him, but he seems to be able to hold it well.
Where are we? What's going on here? We kind of came into a place. I didn't really think that we were gonna find. Where are we?
I think we might have gotten a wee bit turned around.
I think we got turned around going straight. It's kind of impossible to go straight and get lost if we're just going straight and get turned around. I don't know what's going on.
Would both of you roll me, let's say, either survival or perception checks?
All right.
Also, hi Scrat. I just sent you the Weird Arcana. I feel like you're gonna like them.
Thank you.
Perception check. It'll be
Okay. So on a 6, it's kind of hard to see. I think it's probably like that mugginess is kind of seeping in the armor. You can kind of tell you're getting into a swamp environment. I will say on a 6 though, it's very obvious. You can feel that sort of butterfly in your stomach feeling, like when you're on a roller coaster and you go down, that feeling of almost your stomach leaving or jumping. You can feel that. You felt that when you had first kind of stumbled into this place, and you can sort of feel that almost like a hot cold, where it's like, oh, you're getting that feeling again as you're stumbling closer to perhaps where you had entered. On a 20, maybe it's because you're much closer to the ground, but you can see that as you walk, you can watch these rivets of magic. It's like almost crystallized magic sort of running through the rocks that form the floor and the sides of this cavern. And you can, as you're sort of following them, you two feel that sort of butterfly feeling in your stomach. But you can also kind of keep an eye out, and you can hear that hum. And you can sort of, as you're looking around, you can see almost like sparks of these magic fly off these veins. And you can see little, almost like pears sort of appear in the air, like little mini portals, never big enough to fit through or long enough to get a really good look through, but you can still like see those blips sort of popping up. And on a 20, you can definitely follow them. You can recall sort of stumbling through a blip like that when you had first stumbled into here with Dawn, and you can sort of find them sort of sparking here and there throughout the air.
It seems a little familiar, like when we first got here. It's just not really too familiar with what's going on. How about you up there?
Do you think we could find an inn? It's a little uncomfortable
I
out
don't think
here.
I would really love to go for a drink or a couple, but I don't think we're gonna find an inn around here. This is a little too swampy. It's
No, I do seem to keep ending up in swamps.
hello. Is there anybody here?
And as you're walking, you can see, like, as this cavern sort of opens up, you can see what looks like the silhouette of a building. It's very squat, almost like a one-story building, a very sort of native, almost carved directly into the stone with moss kind of crawling up over the edges.
Oh, there's something up there. Just kind of popped up. I didn't see it before. Did you?
I do not see it now, but I trust your eyes.
6 perception. Building? Where?
Follow me. Let's see what's inside. Let's
Clax is gonna walk up to the door and
If it is dry, I will take it.
just give it a knock, knock, knock.
You don't get an answer, but you can. The door itself almost like swings very weakly, just sort of as it swings open.
Is there anybody here? Hello?
Roll me a perception check. Or yeah, your perception.
Perception.
Nat 20.
Whoo, boy, we're rolling real well today, y'all. So on a nat 20, as you sort of swing open that door, you don't hear anything necessarily coming from inside this room. It actually looks pretty empty and abandoned. You can see, like, it's well stocked for a strangely abandoned place. There's like caskets and bottles that haven't been opened behind the bar counter of this place, but it looks like no one has really been in here for a while. On a nat 20 though, you can hear a couple of things. One, you can hear what sounds like another party sort of coming down the halls. A sort of childish voice going, "Here, take the egg. I don't know what to do with it." And a deeper, not a female voice, older sounding, sort of asking about some symbols they had seen on the walls. On a nat 20, you can also hear very, very faintly in the ground something that sounds like really heavy footsteps. We're gonna go pan to the others. I'll leave you with that. And so you can see, as Dodie's sort of looking up at these symbols and sort of like, not chewing, but like she has this flute or ocarina in her hand and she's just sort of absentmindedly like puffing in it. It doesn't really make any sound. It's sort of that whistly sort of noise. And you can see her sort of looking. Would both of you want to roll me an insight check to read her expression?
Yeah.
Eight.
Okay, come on. You're good at insight. You are good at insight. Yeah. 22.
Okay. Floos, on an 18, you're honestly really distracted by the sort of puffing sound that's coming out of the ocarina.
No,
'Cause-
Mackenzie. 8. Not 18.
No, I said on an 8.
Okay, I thought you said 18.
On an
Sorry,
8,
my
you're
bad.
really distracted by the awful puffing sound coming out of her ocarina because you're a musician who specializes in blowing into instruments to make sound, and she's doing this wrong, and it's really annoying you. Just sort of. On a 22 though. Yeah, it's like that. It's real bad. Please, Paladin, give me the kazoo. Give me the kazoo.
I mean, I'll give you the flu special.
God, why does that sound? Someone clip that. On a 22, though, Friday, and I think this makes sense because you've seen the symbol a lot and you're very invested in this. You can see Dodie sort of studying the wall. You can see as she's looking, even though she says, maybe I don't know it's sort of. I mean, I see it on 12. You as she says those words, you can catch her expression, and she isn't necessarily lying, but she's not exactly telling you the full truth. There is a spark of recognition in her eyes. She knows what that symbol means. Whether or not she fully understands it or its relevance isn't entirely certain, but she does recognize it.
You know
And
something,
what?
Dodie.
I mean, what? 12's got it.
Dodie.
What?
Dodie.
What?
I'd like to give her the look.
Like the mom look?
I don't know. I think it's kind of like the mom look, but if your mom is a police sergeant.
Oh god, roll me an intimidation check?
I'm gonna use advantage. I don't want it to be like scary intimidating, you know, just like
Yeah, get her to tell the truth, essentially.
yeah, the I can see through your bullshit look. That's the look we're going for.
Ah, yes. Go for it.
That one.
I think this is your last advantage, by the way.
Yeah, that is my last advantage, I know. Whippa! Okay, 14.
You can see her kind of like I mean, it's sort of familiar. I mean, it's kind of everywhere on the walls. You can definitely, especially if she's standing right in front of the wall, you can totally see the resemblance between her and the two figures in the wall. The only difference is like age.
Winner is Egg 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Egg 2 Electric Boogaloo! Okay, cool. To be fair, it's not Floose Egg this time.
I'm going to take Al. I'm going to point him at the person on the wall. Look at Dodie and say, who is this?
A person?
Dodie.
A person.
Dodie.
A person. What?
Fine. I put my, I'm going to give her the cold shoulder now. I'm going through all of the social manipulations.
Wow. Yes. Socially manipulate the child.
That's, yep. I've never had kids. I never intend to.
I will say, because you rolled so high in your insight, as she sort of, you could tell again, she's holding back something, but it's not necessarily holding it back because she doesn't want to tell you, because it's like she's trying to keep it secret. She doesn't want to tell you because she's afraid of bringing it up herself. It's like one of those things where it's like, you don't want to bring up something not because you're trying to hide it from someone. It's more, it's like, if you bring it up, that means you have to address that it exists and it's real, and she doesn't want to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna get down. Okay, I'm gonna stop trying to give her the cold shoulder. Like Friday starts to do it, and then she kind of thinks about it, and she's like, "This isn't gonna work." She's not, she doesn't know the first thing about kids either, but she's gonna level. Okay, she's gonna level. She's gonna get down and go, "Look, Dodie, this could be really important. Okay, and I'm not just trying to fix time and get out of here anymore. Okay, I see that this place needs people who want to make it better. Okay, I see that it needs people here who can develop this space into having some form of good about it without just the wanton cruelty everywhere. Okay, I see that. But to get on the other side of that and do all these things, I need to know what you know about this and this symbol."
What do you think it is?
They look a lot like you.
I know. I don't know why, though. I think it's me, but I don't remember.
Okay, well, If anything happens that jogs your memory, or if I can do anything that you think might jog your memory, let me know and we'll pursue it.
Okay. Well, you know, uh, I got this thing, and she sort of holds up the little ocarina. Please, can you yell into this? Is there something you can yell into?
I mean, you can yell into anything.
Could you make it make noise?
Do you not know how to play that?
No.
Why do you have it?
You know how I said I needed to get something from the professor? This was it.
Yeah?
I need this to get something, but I don't really know what it does. And I can't make it make noise.
I mean, you understand what I've been doing with the trumpets, right?
Yelling into it?
I mean, yelling around it, really. Not really yelling into it.
Okay. Friday, can you yell? Can you make this make noise?
I'm still plucking the instrument from her.
Okay, well, I saw you were not gonna use it.
I didn't say I was going to pass an opportunity to yell at an instrument. They deserve it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so this is an ocarina, you said?
Yeah, it's an ocarina.
Okay. Floos is gonna just jam it down his beak a little bit so that he can form somewhat of a seal. And then he's gonna play the ocarina.
Okay.
13 with a plus 10. Who cursed me? Stop.
Hey, ocarina.
That's what cursed you.
But I have a lot of advantages. Could I just use one of those retroactively?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, you can.
I never really noticed what I have on just the overlay of just the 20s and the advantages I have, but I looked over and like, wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
Someone must pity me a whole lot right now, and I thank you for it.
Yes, so you can use 27. Yeah, you're able to scream and make noise with the ocarina as Dodie sort of does the talking and walking thing, and as you sort of follow Dodie, you can see a building sort of come into shape into the distance. Very squat building, the door is open, and you can hear a couple of things rustling inside. You can see Dodie sort of approach it. Well, you know how, as she's walking, you know how everyone you've meeting is sort of, you got bits of the clock and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we were all friends or something like that, but we don't remember why. And we all got broken up, sort of split, and we ended up down here or around here. And I'm trying to find why, and unlock it, but people like the professor don't want to figure out what caused us to break. And some people are more, like 9, more aggressive, and I don't know. I know I'm related to that, the things on the wall. I know that means something. I mean, you saw it, it looks like me. I can't remember why, and every time I try to think about it, it just sort of... And as she says that, you can see, her whole form, almost glitch out with this golden light. And you can see, again, that superimposed image of, an older woman sort of hovering above her before it goes back into Dodie's small, childish form. That happens. Last time I thought about it, I ended up not having a body or a voice for a while.
What did you think was in this egg?
I thought it might have been one of the pieces. Or something to use to figure out what broke us. Or something. I mean, time just doesn't break on its own. It has to cause something, right?
Sure. Well, I know there's something inside here. I think I know. I think I do. What happens if I just hug this against the wall real hard?
I don't know.
I'm gonna take a stance to hurl this egg at the wall.
I will say at this point you have approached the building, the squat building, and Clax and Dawn, you can sort of hear snippets of the conversation coming in through the windows. and the sort of swinging open door. Mostly you hear, "What happens if I throw this against the wall?"
There's some, they're yelling in there about throwing something. Don, you really want to go in here? Is this a good idea?
I think it's on. You are on the inside of this building, and they are on the outside.
Dawn's gonna stick her head out the window.
And I know we've described what Floose looks. What Friday looks like and what Dodie looks like. What does Floose look like? As Dawn sort of sticks her head out the window.
Floose looks like a very tall, very large, pink-feathered pigeon with a wide-brimmed hat that covers part of his face, a long blue coat with brass filigree, and trousers and a vest.
And an ocarina jammed down his throat.
Not his throat, just, right about here, where even though his beak starts up here. Just way down in there.
I would be so obliged if any one of you could tell me where we are right now.
Well, we're right here.
Guessing.
What are you talking about?
I'm guessing you're not from the Feywild?
Is that where we are?
Who is that? Okay, can you put me through the window? I can't really see anything.
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Lift Clax up so that he can see out the window.
Do you do it like Lion King? Like, nah.
Like a side pickup and set him on the window.
Like that one gif where it's just like, ah.
And they throw him.
Do not throw the kobold through the window, please.
Whoa. Well, hello there, stranger.
Hello.
Hi.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm afraid you are indeed in the Feywild. Nice to meet you. I too am not from the Feywild.
Hello, my name is Clax, and my friend here holding me up is Dawn. Say hi, Dawn.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Can you give us an idea of what's going on?
Well, that one's trying to and that one, and then you can see the small child sort of pointing at Friday. Well, that one's trying to fix time to go home.
Well,
That's
you
true.
fix time.
Time's broken. Feywild's a little weird. Time and space are kind of the same thing. I know. I don't think it's like that in the material plane or outside of the Feywild, at least from what I've heard.
You
So
look to the sky. That's what I'm trying
we're
to fix.
underground.
Yes. If you happen to have seen the sky recently.
What does this guy look like?
The sky outside. Well, right now the cavern essentially looks like dark, and you can see specks of almost magic rivulets going through the ceiling, forming like a second sky. I will say, as you've been wandering and been lost in the Feywild, you have spent some time outside, and you know that the sky of the Feywild is a perpetual sort of twilight. That sort of pinkish purpley dust color, and you can see almost like galaxies going across the sky, like these giant cracks sort of breaking through different parts of the atmosphere. As you've been traveling for a while, you've noticed some of these cracks suddenly close up, but you've noticed for the most part the sky itself almost seems to be broken.
That's a mighty big thing for one person to be fixing.
Well, there's 3 of us. 4 if you count the bird.
There's a bird other than the
Oh yeah, there's a smaller bird.
Oh, there's a smaller bird. Oh, hi.
And this
Here.
mechanical sparrow sort of flitters down from Friday's shoulder and sort of lands on your nose. Clacks. Hello. You are small.
Yeah, I'm small like you.
No, I am smaller than you.
You're definitely smaller than me. Please get off my nose. Get off my nose.
I was not going to hurt you, but I will get off your nose.
Your claws are
And then
sharp.
sort of, you can see this bird sort of come and hover in front of you. My name is 12. Hello.
Hello, 12. I'm Clax. That's Dawn, and these are, you know them apparently, so, what's
Nice
going
to
on?
meet you, 12. Dawn will put up a hand for it to land on.
12 will happily perch on your hand.
I have a question for the two of you. Would either one of you happen to have a hammer on you?
Absolutely. Hold on.
And you see Clax just kind of like reach down on his belt and he's like pulls out what appears to just be some sort of mass that he just like twists and extends, kind of like an extendo cup, but it's like a hammer.
Here you go, sir. Yeah. So, made that one myself.
Is this sized for a kobold or sized for a medium-sized creature?
It's probably about 8 inches long total, so it looks like it's a little ball peen hammer for like fixing
Okay,
tools.
that's certainly a weight on a stick. I'm gonna place the egg down on the ground. Just real quick, I want to do an Arcana check to see how bad an idea this is.
Okay. I have a disadvantage. You can use it. Cool. This seems fine.
Can I make sure I can see everything that's going on? Specifically, specifically, thinking of my danger sense. I'm looking at this egg, and I'm trying to sense danger so hard. You know, I want that feat to be more than it's ever been before. I'm sensing danger. You know,
Let's have everyone except Floos, because you're very focused on this egg. Everyone roll me a perception check. Scrat, you can roll it at advantage.
Thank you.
Damn.
Ooh!
God.
Ooh, no!
The duality. The duality.
No. Oh no!
Not wise. My girl is not wise.
I've got "Don't Stop Me Now" but just playing in my head real loud.
Oh no. Okay. So, this egg is real shiny. It's real shiny, and it's gold, and it looks pretty cool. It's kind of lit up on the inside. It looks really cool. It looks really interesting, especially for a couple of tinkerers, or especially for Clax. This is a premium shiny.
This is so beautiful.
I feel like I'm very caught up in the bird that is sitting on my hand and not really paying attention to the egg.
That's fair. 12 is sort of sitting on your hand, going. So you are Dawn.
I am.
You are very big.
You
are
are
bigger.
very small.
I have not met someone like you before. You are scaly.
Is 12 made out of metal?
Yes, but also feels organic and alive, warm.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. It's Friday, as you are peering at this egg, trying desperately to sense danger. You notice a couple of things.
Yes.
You notice that the egg itself seems to have not a latch, but there is a small sort of rim or like a very faint line you can catch around the edge, where it doesn't look like, you know, how an egg is whole. It looks like, you know, when one of those plastic eggs, it has a line on it.
Well,
The second thing you notice, and the kind of more alarming thing, is that as Floos kind of is talking and making noises with that ocarina, you can feel something rumble in the ground. Almost like footsteps.
If I happen to have a glass of water, might I think it was vibrating in time in a completely non-copyrighted scene?
Yes, 100%. There's some bottles, like if the camera pans to into the building behind you, which it looks like it was once a tavern. There's a couple of bottles of sort of like translucent, filled with liquid on behind the bar, and they're rumbling a little in time, sort of like brum, 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 in a completely non-copyrighted manner.
Like in Triassic Field?
Mesozoic plain. Mesozoic. I don't know what's a word. I don't know.
Yard?
Mesozoic land.
Deity Zilla?
Yeah. Anyways, yes, that's what's happening. You feel footsteps.
I hate to interrupt you, Flus, and new friends, but
Then don't.
well, there's something coming.
It's so gold.
Do you know what?
Something very big.
Boom.
Given our luck, do you want to make a bet? What do you think it's gonna be friendly for once?
Are things here not friendly?
Usually hit or miss. Sometimes we find people like you, where they don't try and assault us right away. Sometimes I've had some days.
I'm
Friday,
just...
you can feel the footsteps.
Yeah.
Every time Flus opens his mouth and makes noise with that ocarina, you can feel the footsteps pick up in pace.
They seem to be attracted to the noises you're making, Flus, with the ocarina. And, considering, I mean, I'm sure a giant creature possibly hunting, which it would indicate predator, could be friendly. It may be on the safe side to play cautiously anyway.
What do you mean?
Stick it out of your mouth.
Maybe we should hide and shush.
Well, I mean, I guess so.
Shh, shh, shh.
But what are we gonna hide? Do you have any suggestions?
Shh, shh. I mean, every time you make noise, it's getting faster. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Flus. So stop making noise.
Kind of a weird way to ask, but sure.
There's a building right here.
It seems perfect. Let's get in the building.
You're welcome to come in, although it's not mine.
I mean, I don't think anyone's been here in a really, really, really long time. And Doge just sort of walks in.
Hopefully they have a nice bowl or something that we can crack the egg into. There's more than one way to crack an egg. Come on.
I'm getting real tired of egg jokes and egg humor.
I mean, look, it's not my fault. Look, 12's fine with it, and 12's a bird.
That's
Hey,
not
12,
how-
can you ever be involved in the process of making an egg?
12 looks at you very puzzled. But not a I don't know how to answer this. It's more of, why would you ask someone that?
I turn back to Dodie. See?
I think you just offended him.
I mean, it's kind of been my week. And I go into the building.
12 just sort of settles into your palm, Dawn, and just sits there quietly miffed. Scrat, are you okay?
I'm totally fine.
I'm gonna stay by the window,
Okay.
so that I can kind of keep an eye out for whatever is coming.
All right. Flus, Clax, you still have the shiny golden egg. What are you trying to do with it?
As I recall, I have a hammer.
Yes, you do have a hammer.
And I believe that this is a good idea.
Yes, you do.
If that doesn't work, I think I might have something I can do a lot more damage on, but nobody can really stand near it.
Well, let's try
Ooh,
this one first.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm going to roll a nature check to see where's the best place to hit it.
Sure.
No, actually, perception to see where the best place to hit it would be.
Yeah, go ahead.
23, just looking up and down this egg.
Well, you see exactly what Friday saw. There's a very thin line sort of around the egg.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to try and pry that open.
Okay. So just so I understand what's going on, I'm assuming so Friday and Dawn and 12 are kind of at the windows of this building trying to see if anything's coming, while Clax and Flus and I think Dodie are around the egg about to try and pry it open.
Stay
Yes.
very still. Maybe it won't see us.
Okay, make me a strength check.
I'm going to use an advantage.
I was
Go
going to say,
ahead.
can Clax try to help with some of his other tools?
If Clax helps, then you don't have to use one of the gifted advantages. You will just get advantage.
Yeah, Clax is like trying to pull out a couple different screwdrivers, from his belt, just like extending him and just like trying to get in there. Like,
Let's try and work together and just pull. See if we can open it.
All right.
Okay.
Then I'm going to roll advantage then.
Yes, go for it.
To repeat, I have hollow bones.
Would you like me to try and get that for you?
Floos just straining. I think I got it.
I think I don't think he has such a good grip on it. There's.
Are you sure?
I think
Look,
he's
I
having some
don't
problems.
have finger grip and strength because I have feathers on my skin.
Yeah, it looks more like feathers.
You're a mighty
Kinda
little
slippery.
fella too.
He's pretty big.
I'm gonna try again.
Yes, but you don't get advantage this time.
Okay.
You can have my tools, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna get in the way.
7.
Floos, don't hurt yourself. Maybe we can help you.
I will say, with those 2 consecutive very bad rolls, Floos, you're trying to be quiet, but you're like trying to pull it open, and you do let out one very loud and it definitely makes a noise with the ocarina.
Yeah, I was about to say, just like you ever see someone like
Wedge.
angrily work out with a harmonica in their mouth? Because I have, and that's like,
I haven't yet, but now I need to.
oh, it's a gift. That is my Christmas.
That's a very obnoxious sound. Maybe you should take that out of your mouth.
I have to master it first. Does anyone else want to crack at this egg? Oh, I hate myself.
I hold out a hand
if you
to
don't mind,
take
take
it from.
Maybe Don can have a crack at it. See if he can
Please.
split it.
Please.
All right.
All right.
I will try to open it.
Go for it.
Strength.
Yes.
Uh,
This egg ends up being everyone's bane of existence, I swear to God.
Okay, how do I roll strength?
Okay, so if you look at your character sheet,
Oh,
you
I have
see
to
the
click
box
on the
that says
actual
strength,
text.
just
yep.
click strength.
Boom.
Okay, cool. So, I would also like everyone who's looking outside the window, so I think Friday and Dawn, roll me perception check.
Would I still be, since I took the
Okay, yeah. Then just Friday, roll me perception check.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure. Actually, put a disadvantage on it.
Pressure, right?
7.
Wow, y'all, you're rolling great. Cool.
You disadvantaged me.
Even if I didn't disadvantage you, it still would have been a 7.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't know that?
You can't blame me for this one.
Hey, chaos theory. The flap of a butterfly's wing somewhere makes people things happen. You know, maybe if you arguments fin and failing. Let's carry on.
Okay, so I will say on a 7, you are aware of the footsteps. You can hear them, and as you're sort of peering out into the darkness and this, you can feel the swampy air sort of like leaking through every crack and every window frame, just sort of surrounding you. As you're looking out into the distance, you swear you see like something glowing. You think you see something. You catch a flash of gold in one of the paintings on the wall, and then as you look, it's gone. Then you catch another flash of gold out of the corner of your eye, and then you try and find it again when it's gone. And you sort of keep trying to track this flash of light sort of in the darkness around you. But every time you try and look at it, it's sort of gone. As that's happening, though, you do hear a sort of a hiss and a crack as the egg sort of splits open. And I need everyone to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Danger sense advantage.
You were not looking at the egg.
Ah.
I forgot to put my bonuses on my saving throws. Let me fix that now.
If this egg releases a snake, I'm going to feel betrayed on 2 accounts. One biological, one overall.
One as a friend.
One as an existence.
Okay. So, there is, as this egg sort of opens up, there is this sort of a hiss and a swarm of this brilliant whitish gold light.
Oh.
As it just almost, you can feel the ground itself sort of shake. Floos and Floos and Clacks, ironically, because you were closest enough to the egg, it's almost as if it's like this, like you know when you go to like an amusement park and you like sit in the splash zone, but you're too close, so the splash goes over you.
Mhm.
That's exactly what happens when you open this egg. You're too close to it, and this light streaks over you. And these big tendrils of light lash out, and they hit. They hit. Sorry, I blanked on names. Dawn and Friday, and you both take and 9 points of radiant damage as these things sort of hit you. And I want both of you to roll me perception checks.
Did we heal up from last episode?
Yes, you always heal up from last episode.
Just checking.
Perception.
Yeah, you always get a long rest in between episodes because honestly, I it's much more fun that way.
You hurt me too much for you not to.
Just beating that wisdom.
Mm,
Was that another perception check, sorry?
yes.
Sometimes I don't give my characters proficiency and it hurts.
It's okay. I think it makes sense for you not to notice it because you were just like, I can open this egg, and you do open it, and there's just suddenly like a of light in your face. It feels very warm and very hot. You can, on a 12 though, I will say you do catch, ironically 12, sort of like catch a burst of this light and not necessarily fall, but you can see it almost sort of arc like lightning or like circuitry, and you can see it's almost as if because it looks 12 looks mechanical, it's like it's short circuiting all of a sudden, like that stutter suddenly becomes even more heightened when they speak, and their voice kind of warbles, and they're not necessarily like hurt, but you can tell that something very particular about this blast had it impacted 12 really badly. On a 25 though, Friday, what you see as you're sort of recovering from this blast, you see all of this light sort of go and then coalesce around Dodie. As it hits you, you can hear whispers as it rushes past. You can hear two voices that sound almost exactly the same, except the only difference between them is their tone. They sound very similar to almost what you had heard when you had been talking with the image of the queen back at the Bastion. One is sharper and the other is more, not necessarily panicky, but sad, and they're arguing over something. You can get bits and pieces of it. They're arguing about a throne, a sovereign. One feels hurt and underappreciated, the other just doesn't care. And you can feel these voices streak out as you sort of recoil back, and you see them coalesce around Dodie. And it's like that glitch happens again. It matches what happens to 12, that sort of glitchiness, but it looks like Dodie's entire form just sort of shakes, becoming suddenly much, much older, and then switching to almost like a bestial form, like a spider with these long limbs like swords, and then switching again to an even older hag-like figure that's towering over you with a hunched back that you recognize as Grandma 3. Switches again to the satyr who you had gotten 8 from. Switches again to almost like anthropomorphic versions of the keys you had used to unlock certain things. And you can see all of that sort of coalesce around her, and there is a brilliant flash, and she disappears.
Did anyone else see all of this? Dodie, do you know what happened there?
Dodie's gone.
I think maybe we shouldn't have
like-
opened that egg.
12 looks like 12 is like, it's like when you power down a robot, it's like you can see 12 like sleeping in Dawn's hand, with these golden lights sort of streaking around them.
What's left in the egg?
It's a very shiny golden shell.
They
A
inside it?
shell?
Have they taken shelter?
No.
Scrat these puns.
You need to stop scrambling my brain with these puns. I can't DM.
Sorry.
I'm going to drop the egg and see if I can just gently poke the small bird awake and see if they're okay.
What happened? What's wrong? What happened? Is she
I
okay?
don't know.
She okay?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh no.
Okay, look, I will say this. Roll, because I feel bad keeping asking you to roll things that you're not great
Oh
at.
no, it's fine. I love
yeah.
it. I
Okay.
love it when I'm bad at things.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Hey, you know?
So as you sort of poke 12, every time you poke 12, you can see like this static sort of echo around them, and you can see like they have a symbol on sort of the chest where like their feathers would be, which is half a sun and half a moon, sort of squished together, and you can see this golden light sort of almost stemming from it. When you try and poke 12 doesn't wake up, but you do get snippets of conversation almost, very much like broken, time, mine, throne, mine, and it's just sort of, and then there's one moment where it's like, I will take this. You did this. You did this. You did this. It is your fault.
That is fair.
As Clack sees this, this mechanical, almost realistic bird, can I roll an intelligence check to see if there's anything that he can try to do to try to find out what's actually wrong with it?
Yes, you can do an intelligence check. I will say, if you would like, you can use Arcana, or you can use like Tinkerer's tools if you have that proficiency.
I do have Tinkerer's tools.
Okay, go for that.
Let's see. It would be +7. What would that be? Intelligence plus a 7?
It would be. What's your proficiency? Do you have?
It's proficiency is a +7.
Proficiency bonus?
Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah, that seems.
Yeah, that's for my dex.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's do dexterity plus proficiency, plus a d20. So I think it would be like whatever your dexterity modifier is plus your proficiency bonus for level 6 character, which is like 3? 2, 3?
So I just rolled a dexterity check. That's a 23.
Okay.
Along with the tools.
Yeah, along with proficiency for the tools. Oh yeah. So as you can fiddle around with 12, and though they feel warm to the touch, and you can see them almost their chest rise and fall as if they're breathing, you are able to sort of take your tinkerer's tools and sort of fiddle around with a couple of gears, and you can see in the back there is a key slot where you would like a wind-up toy where you'd put in a key and wind it. You are able to use your tinkerer's tools and sort of wind 12 back up. And as you do, this sort of small bird sort of jerks back up, and it just goes, hello, I am 12. Who are you?
Hello there. My name is Clax. We've already met, and you've met my friend Dawn. She was just holding you when you just kind of got when you went down. Things happened, and you just kind of crashed.
I went down.
Oh no! Somebody wanna talk to you guys? Know your little bird friend 12? You wanna tell them something? What's going on? I don't really know what's going on.
12.
Hello, I am 12.
Good. That's a good start. Dodie just disappeared.
Who are you? Are you a friend?
Yes, I'm your friend, Dodie. 12.
Who is Dodie? Are you Dodie?
No, my name is Friday.
Sort of like you could see this bird sort of tilt its head, look at Floos. Are you Dodie?
No, Dota's one of our friends.
You are friends?
Me less so, but what's the last thing you remember?
We were the sister broke us. Sister broke us in timepiece.
What sister?
What's his sister?
Our sister.
I'd like to check the watch. Is 12 still on the watch?
Roll me a perception check.
I see everything.
Oof. Ooh, that was almost bad. As you look at the watch, you can see 12 is still on the watch. But it's...
Feel like there's a butt coming?
Yeah, there is a butt coming. But
No butts.
as you're looking at the watch, you can see, like, yeah, the watch is still exactly as you remember it, except there are bits of it that are glowing. You can start to see almost dripping down it, like molten gold. You can see light sort of illuminating these cracks in the watch where things were broken, almost as if replaying a memory. You can also see a little bit of light sort of coalescing around 2 and around 4.
You haven't
and-
collected those yet, right?
You haven't collected... I'm trying to remember. You have collected 2, because that was Dodie.
That was the last
That
one
was
we collected.
Dodie. Dodie was 2. You haven't collected 4 yet, but now both 2 and 4. 2 looks like it has been broken, and 4 is sort of pulsing a faint golden color. And I'll also say on that 24, as you're sort of looking at that watch, you kind of look outside, and you can see almost like a swarm of fireflies. That golden light sort of streak out around the outside the window, sort of streak out into like the front of this building, and then coalesce next to a pair of glowing yellow eyes in the dark. And you can feel those footsteps again. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, everyone, please stretch.
Yikes.
Take a deep breath, drink some water, get up, have some good time. We'll be back in around 5 minutes.
We will be back in around 5 minutes. I'm not going to lie, everyone. I had food instead of coffee during painting of the forge, so I'm going to go put the kettle on first to make sure my break is nice and expedient. Kettle first, then do all the other things that we need to do. We're also going to play an advert during the break. That advert is for the Deck of Many Kickstarter, where you can find wonderful things like the Deck of Many Things, as Shinobi just mentioned in chat. This is a donatable reward during today and every stream, pretty much, including the charity stream. It's gonna be a donatable reward in the charity stream. So we'll be back in 5-ish minutes. See you very soon.
Oh no, Jimmy! Heckna's after us! What are we gonna do? Sword beats face! Ha! Looks like you really lost your edge, huh? Huh? God, I'm funny. So, I guess weapons don't... Weapons don't work! Hey, why aren't you laughing? Oh, I know! Let me hit you with the punchline! Wait! My animated spell cards! They can save us! Well, jeepers, Jane. Blast him! Avada Kedavra! Right in the funny bone. Bleh. I really don't like that guy. We did it! Yeah!
Defeat your greatest foes with the most powerful spells. Animated spells are back, with level 6 to 9. Each spell card features 8 frames of looping animation that makes the spell come to life, and contains all the spell details on the back. And for the first time, you can divine with a fully animated tarot card deck. Will you read Fortune or Folly?
Jane! Heckna's reforming! Not on my watch! Meteor swarm!
Go to animatedspells.com and back the Kickstarter today.
That's the wrong screen. Oh, hi everyone, and welcome back from the break. We are back. I'll hand straight
Oh,
back
hi.
to Mackenzie.
So last we left, Friday, you saw this golden light, sort of like a bunch of fireflies, sort of streak from where it had impacted Dodie and had caused her to disappear. Streak out the windows of this abandoned building and sort of almost hover like a swarm of fireflies next to this pair of eyes, sort of glowing in the dark. You can see them slowly sort of blink one after the other. You can feel those footsteps starting to shake the ground.
Everyone, the pair of eyes, big pair of eyes.
Where?
Outside?
Yep, they're just over that way.
Friendly eyes or kind of dastardly eyes?
Mackenzie, that's a good question. I've assumed dastardly, but I mean, they could be friendly Powerpuff Girl eyes.
Roll me an insight check.
Da, 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 da.
Friendly eyes.
They are golden. They are pupilless. They don't look angry, but they look very big.
Do you think we could talk to them?
We
Well-
can always try.
I could always ask. I'm going to lean out the window.
Okay.
And looking at these eyes, Flute's going to do something real stupid and just lean out and say, "Hi there. I don't suppose you're here to not harm us?" I'm going to persuasion check.
Sure. Have a disadvantage.
19.
Okay, so that's an under 10 roll for you.
Yes, still.
Okay. So there are a couple of things you notice as you lean out the window. You can feel this thing. You can hear this very slow sort of groan and as these eyes sort of turn, and as there's that rumbling in the ground as it takes a couple steps closer. You can see what these eyes belong to, and it is a figure that is scraping the ceiling of this cavern, a ceiling you couldn't see before. Sort of made of the same material that the caverns you were just in were made out of. That sort of rock embedded with these veins of crystallized magic. You can see bits of wood and moss and roots sort of crawled up its shoulders and around its midsection, and these tall, towering legs. And you can tell, as you look as this thing stands up, that sort of those trees that you had been seeing surrounding this area, that sort of swampy air, you can tell, these trees, they're no longer there. They are on this creature. It was a thing that stood up. Scrat, what are you doing?
Trying to do the finger. Hard.
Okay. I was
Am I doing
watching
it
you
right?
like this, and I was like, eh.
Am I doing it right?
Yes, 100%.
Cool. I'm glad.
And you can feel that sort of that as you watch this figure stand up, you can see the area you were walking on, those trees that were around you sort of crawling up the ceiling, they're no longer there because they're on this figure. You can tell the ground you were walking on that had been veined with that magic is now risen up as part of this figure. That swampy air that you felt wasn't just ambient air. It now kind of pulses in and out with every breath this giant takes. And you can see as it sort of stands up, this golden light sort of almost swirling around it from where Dodie had been. And you can see in its chest there is a chunk of that glowing topaz sort of embedded in its chest next to a shape of almost pearlescent, sort of again an almost an oval shape, sort of right next to it, in this mockery of a sun and moon, sort of twisted and jagged. And this thing sort of lumbers closer to you, and then like very, very slowly crouches down on the ground to look you dead in the eyes. And as its face gets close to this window, you can tell that this face is double the height of the building you're in.
So, are you here to harm us, or is this just happenstance that you're here right now?
You can see it sort of tilt its head, as if it doesn't understand you.
I am gonna try saying the same thing. Oh, never mind. Yeah,
I'm gonna
languages.
cast comprehend languages.
Okay. Cool.
On
Meanwhile-
myself.
Friday has heard Floos offering it hummus. They're wondering what you have to do to make hummus.
Oh, Scrat, Paladin looks like they're going to murder you.
I can't wait for conventions to be open again.
Paladin's gonna see you across the convention and just give you a sock across the face. In a loving manner.
The most loving.
I'm actually gonna use a combo.
Okay, go for
I'm
it.
I'm gonna cast comprehend languages, and then I'm gonna use message to
Okay.
repeat what
Okay.
Luce was asking. Are you here to harm us?
Okay, for comprehend languages,
I don't know if it'll work or not.
you cannot speak.
Okay, you can only
That's-
understand.
You can only understand.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you have to cast tongues in order to speak it.
that makes sense.
So,
She does it anyway.
yeah, no,
but...
and you will catch some things as this thing sort of looks at you. You can catch, as this thing sort of crouches down, you can catch in Giant, this thing rumbling in its chest. It's a very, very quiet, almost solemn, "You found friend?" To everyone else, or to anyone who does not speak Giant, it is very much a.
They say we found a friend. I can't talk to them, but I can understand them.
Whoops, click that. Okay, so what good does that do us right
You
now?
can see this this sort of giant very slowly lift up one of its colossal hands and sort of like trace this golden light that's sort of streaking around it. And Dawn, you can hear that very quiet again. Friend.
Maybe we speak some other common language. I'm gonna try rattling off in Orcish. Do you speak Orcish? No,
I'm gonna try
okay.
Sylvan.
What do you
Sylvan's good.
say?
Hey, does this make sense to you? You hear me with this?
You speak.
Yeah, I do.
Knowing
Um,
Elven, would I be able to understand any of it?
I thought you know Sylvan.
No, I only know Elven.
You told me you knew Sylvan.
Oh,
This
I have Sylvan! I have Sylvan! I do have Sylvan! It's right there on the sheet! I have Sylvan!
12 weeks in. We're just finding ourselves, folks. This is just a game of self-discovery and exploration.
Dawn will just be standing here quietly translating for Clax because she can't participate in this conversation at all. She can just understand it.
She's just looking outside the window, trying to see what's out there, and looking up at you. Like,
Okay. As
So-
you're looking, Clax, you can roll me. You can do perception or investigation. Let's just see what you pick up as you're sort of watching this happen.
I'm gonna go investigation.
Okay.
20.
Ooh, okay, on a 20. As this thing sort of, you can see this golden light that you recognize as what had come out of the egg and what had taken Dodie with it and what had deactivated 12. You can see as like this golden light is sort of swirling around this creature's arms and torso. You can see that light matches one of the two rocks that is in its chest. You can also see as sort of bits of this, as this golden light sort of wraps around this, you can see bits of rock flake off. and you can see what looks like almost like clock numbers start to show up around on its torso. You can see as this light sort of swirls, it sort of almost chips off bits of this torso, and you can see numbers start to appear.
Would I know to associate this with the clock that I didn't know about Friday that they were looking at?
You did hear them mention fixing time, so you do know clocks are something that are important. I'll also just give it to you because it's fun. Yes, you do know to associate it.
Excuse me, Friday. There's a little something on the chest outside that might have to do with the thing on your clock, the watch, the time. Maybe there's something significant that has to pair them together. Maybe so. Hopefully, because I don't want to die.
Yes. In Elven, are you lost in time?
In Elven or in Sylvan?
They're nearly the same thing, Sylvan.
No, they're not.
They're just one's a little older. It's like the difference between Old English and English, you know?
As someone
yes, they're very similar.
Scrat, as someone made from tree bark and mushrooms, how dare you?
Sorry, there's a comment in chat. Scrat forgetting his character. That is so on brand.
I didn't even make this one, to be fair.
I fully expect at one point in the future, Scrat to be like, wait, I'm playing a character? While he's been playing like a sorcerer or something highly magical in a game, just like, no, I was describing something else, never mind.
God. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, what did you ask, Scrat? Friday? I was laughing too hard, I forgot.
Oh yeah, are you lost in time?
Time?
Not the herb.
What is time?
That might be a bit too much for the fella. Do you have a name there?
I am 4.
I'm gonna say in Elven over to Friday. Fuck.
What?
Fuck.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Elven for 4.
No.
Very
Don,
similar.
by the way,
Va,
you
fuck, very similar.
do hear this exchange happen between these two. Whether you choose to translate it for Clax is up to you.
Yeah, I'm translating everything for Clax. You're just getting a running dialogue of what they're saying. They seem to have found 4.
And now
I
they're
don't
saying
know what
fuck.
any of this means. They don't seem happy about it, but I thought they were looking for a 4.
I remember hearing something about a 4, but I don't know what's really going on here. 4.
Say in Elven. So, do you plan on putting that on the watch too, or are we gonna try something else here? Because
With Grandma
I
free,
can't kill that, and I don't know how to be its friend.
With Grandma free, I didn't kill her or anything like that. I just did her a small favor.
I look back out the window. Say, friend, do you need help with anything?
Need help finding friend?
What does your friend look like?
Points to the glowing sort of gold sort of circling. Friend.
Where's 12 currently?
I don't know. I think last they were being wound up by Plax.
Mhm.
Hey, 12?
I am 12.
12, can you come over here, friend? I got someone I want you to meet.
The bird will kind of look at you and then sort of flutter over. Settle on your hand.
I slid out the window, just holding 12. 4, this is my friend 12. Is 12 the friend you're looking for? 4?
One of the friends.
How many limbs do they have?
Please don't say 9.
There are more than one.
How many friends do you have?
God, you're gonna make this thing count.
Yeah, I am.
I'm gonna take a leap here and guess you're gonna say 11.
He can't understand you.
Oh yeah, Dawn forgets.
Do I hear her ask that?
Yes.
Do you have 11 friends?
Parts of we were together and then something broke.
Well, do you wanna join up with them? Because we happen to be looking for your friends already.
You are looking for my friends?
We were friends with one of your friends, and we were looking for their friends, which means that we were also looking for you, friend. Birds can't sweat, but I want you to know that Flus is sweating.
Ooh, let's increase that sweat. Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm going to use one of my advantages here.
I don't know. You have how many have you used this session?
I've used one this session.
Okay, you got one. This is your last one.
I had 3 when we started.
Oh, you had 3? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got one more left.
26. Of all the times to have 2 good numbers. Cool.
It's fine. You want to put friends back together?
Yeah. Get y'all nice and happy and hanging out again. Would you like that?
This thing nod very slowly.
All right.
And you can see it hold its hand out, and that golden light, sort of like that swarm of fireflies, coalesces in its palm.
I'm gonna reach out my wing with my arm with the watch symbol thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna reach out my talents.
Are you trying to touch the light?
Just touch his hand.
Yeah, you can touch his hand.
Yeah, we'll touch his hand.
Hold his hand. Yes, essentially. Except it's more like it's real small. It's just like. Let's see. Okay, who's looking at the giant right now?
I'm looking back and forth between Dawn and the giant. Like,
Okay.
What's going on?
Let's okay, everyone who is looking at the giant, just say like everyone roll me perception or investigation. Honestly, you could probably do Arcana too, whichever you prefer.
Go in investigation then.
Well, I'm in no way magical.
I have magic, but not proficient.
Okay, everyone's doing real well.
Haven't rolled under a 20 in a while.
Oh, it's gonna hurt
just
you when
delude
it.
yourself. You just
It's gonna.
delude
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Scrat, why would you say that?
Doom.
Okay, everyone rolled Flus, roll me perception. Or
Okay, I didn't know if I was
investigation or
allowed to.
Arcana. Yeah.
Perception or investigation? We'll go
Or
with...
Arcana.
Well, of the 3 that you've offered me, Arcana is the worst one.
So let's go with it.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
So, let's see. So on investigation, let's do the perception checks first. So what you do notice as this light sort of coalesces onto this creature's hand, you can see as it sort of shifts, you can see it almost morph a little bit. Friday, you will recognize some of these figures. Dawn, you will recognize the figure very briefly of that elvish child Dodie sort of form from this light before it disbands again. You can see it almost form like a small image of almost like a reflection of 12 before disbanding. Friday, as you look at it, you see it become 12. You see it become Dodie. You see it become the warden from the jail. You see it become the person you stole a necklace from. You see it become Grandma 3, you see it become 9, you see it become 12, you see it sort of swirling and swirling, just sort of that banding together into one, forming a figure that you recognize, and then disbanding, almost pulsing like a heartbeat. On your investigation check, as you sort of see this, your eye catches to the center of the chest, and you can see the numbers starting to become clear. You can see as this glow sort of coalesces in its hand, you can see, like molten gold, some of these numbers begin to fill. Every single one except 1 and 11. These start to glow. You can see in the center of the chest, as this light started to chip away bits of it, you can see that sun symbol glowing slightly, and you can see a moon next to it in this pearlescent shape. You can also see where the sun is, there is where the sun symbol is, there is a little bit of a gap. And on that high of an investigation, you can recognize that gap looks like it would fit an ovular golden figure that looks very similar to the egg you had broken.
And we still have that egg.
Oh, you still have the shell of the egg. Yeah. And an Arcana check, Floos.
The first one I've made so far.
I know. It very much feels like you get a sense of familiarity from this. As you look at that golden light, it's like you know who that is. It seems like your lady. It's a feeling you haven't had in a very, very, very long time. But this, for the first time in a while, it feels like you know this. You know this
How
person.
big is this window?
It's like a bay window.
Floos is scrambling out of it.
Okay. Everyone watches the Aerococra leap out the window.
Wait a minute. The egg, we didn't break it, right? We just pried it apart.
Yes.
We could just pry it back together again.
Technically, yes.
I was just about to say that, because I saw something, and I think, you know what, I was looking at there and here, and we said put it back together and put it back in.
Should we worry about him?
Oh, Floos,
He's
he's
already
very
out the
capable.
window.
He saved me from an evil queen once. He's very capable.
I'm gonna hurry up to the giant and take off my hat as I approach.
Okay.
Hey, friend.
Yes.
Do you know my lady?
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna use
That
advantage.
You have an advantage. You did just get one redeemed from chat.
27.
You see this. There is a spark of recognition across these pupilless eyes, and you can see it look towards the golden light sort of swirling in its hand. And a very, very, very slow sort of nod.
How's she been?
Broken.
Is she one of your friends?
We are.
Someone broke my lady?
See it nod. And hold out its hand to that and show you that golden pulsing light.
Floos is just gonna walk up to the hand holding it and just rest his head against one of the fingers and just start crying.
Okay. Meanwhile, Egg Crew, what are you doing?
What the hell's going on?
Can birds cry? Do birds have tear ducts?
You want to have a biological discussion right now?
No.
I mean,
I need
surely.
Paladin, I need to know if the eagles will cry as they take me away.
I mean, that's what it sounds like when doves cry.
Oh, damn it. You got it. Took it before I did.
Surely the clue's in the name, right? Ducks.
Also, technically speaking, generally speaking, birds do have tear ducts. They just don't cry usually.
Oh, cool. I made a bird cry.
I saw something in the chest. Maybe we can take the egg, and it looks like it's got about the same shape and size. Maybe we should just take this and put this in.
I love that. Maybe we should try jamming it together.
Yeah, just piece it together.
Well, I mean, we
Clax
could
is
just
just
piece it
gonna-
together. I mean, there was nothing inside. We could try, like, I don't know, sticking it together or something.
You hold one side, I'll hold the other, and we'll.
Do we want to be the ones to put it back, or do we want something else to put it back for us?
The worst that can happen.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
It hurt quite a bit when we opened it.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool.
Maybe it'll heal us when we put it back together.
Maybe I'll turn into a gopher. Who knows? It's all an experience, right? I'm just kind of happy to be here. It's,
Okay,
So what are you doing?
the egg.
What are we doing with the egg, y'all?
Clax is holding one half of the egg.
Okay.
just put the other half here. Let's just do it.
Yeah, you put the egg back together. It's an empty shell, but you put the two halves of this crystal together. They click back together, like when you take a plastic Easter egg and you just snap them back together. Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of uneventful.
Can I hold it above my head?
Yes.
I knew that was coming.
I think Paladin is just contemplating the various ways he will greet you when we see each other at cons again.
So, maybe you should take that and put it inside the your friend's I think he's crying over there. Having a moment with the big tree giant. I thought we were gonna have to fight that thing.
Surely that's happy tears, right? Inside check?
Sure. Paladin, you get to respond though. I'm not gonna control
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Roll me insight, Friday.
Versus my deception.
Sure. Go for it.
Well, what to do?
I will leave this up to you, Paladin.
Technically
How-
speaking, I set the DC of my deception, and you have to meet or exceed a DC to beat it. Floos wants to just scream. You can tell he's exhausted, and this is how he's venting it.
Who's-
I think you should give him a minute.
Yeah, maybe we should.
So,
Hey, Floos. Here for you, buddy.
What now?
You got this. We're here for you if you need anything.
No, I'm good. What's the plan?
We got an egg. Fits in a space, but there's no rush. You know, if you need
What's
a
the
minute.
space?
now we're back.
It's on the sun.
Let's record it in there. Come on. I'm good.
You sure?
I'm fine.
I mean, you should always ask twice, right? Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Friday.
Okay. Take that egg.
This is really weird.
Hang a minute. Where's the sun? Isn't it like in a high up or something?
No, it's on the chest of this creature, and this creature is currently squatted down, or like almost like kneeling down, like flat on the ground, like that.
I mean, if you want to put it in there, I'm not going to stop you, but I can make something that can put it in there for you.
No, I mean, what you know, trust, friendship, new friend. That's fine. This will be fine. Switch to Sylvan.
Alright.
Hi, friend. I'm approaching with this egg. I think it belongs in your chest. Gonna place it there, okay?
This is so weird.
Please, just because I want to know how all this goes, roll me a persuasion check.
You ever have like a toddler walk up to you and go, "Hey, can I shove this rock into your chest?" It glows.
Yeah, I've got 4 nephews. Surprisingly, it happens more than you'd think.
Okay. So, on a 19, you can see this creature sort of look at you, and then you can see it sort of. It squats, but at the same time, it's almost as if what's comprising its leg sort of almost like melds back into the floor and forming that terrain you had just been walking on as it sort of lowers down, so the chest and the clock that is ringing it is now at your height. And you can see it almost holding up this golden light to its ear and listening to it. And then sort of putting it down and then very, very, very solemnly nodding.
Going to walk towards the chest. I know this would normally be a decision that is above my station. I'm only a sergeant after all, but time to make an executive decision. Now push that egg into the giant's chest.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
I can whiz save, sure. Yeah, this will be fine.
Yeah, nothing happens. Well, no, something does happen, but nothing terrible happens. You put the egg in, and you can see as you sort of as you push this back in as it fits right into that space, a couple of things happen all at once. The first thing you notice is that this, what looks like the clock in its chest, you can still see it's missing 2 of the numbers, 1 and 11. You can see it, that clock though, right in between where the sun and moon are, it splits and it opens up to reveal a cavity. You notice the eyes inside this creature sort of go dim, and you can sort of peer on the inside of this opening. There are a couple things inside. You see what looks like a shattered piece of stained glass shaped as a number 4 that glows from within with an ethereal light. You also see 2 keys. They don't necessarily look like, keys with like a skeleton keys, but they're like miniature medallions, one with the sun on the moon, like a yin-yang symbol, sort of sitting there. You also see a smaller egg, which is half silvery and half golden, with a little inscription on it that says, "For when you want to go home."
Got all sorts of junk sitting around in here. No wonder you're all sad and slow moving. I'm gonna clear all that stuff out. Just like tidying up a shelf and then put the egg in its place.
The egg was when you put the egg into the chest, the big golden egg. That is what opened.
Oh.
Yeah, it opened the chest.
Oh, so it's like an egg within an egg?
Yes, it's an egg within an egg. We got egg too, Electric Boogaloo. I don't know what you expected.
It's called Eggception. Have some class.
No. Yeah.
I will take the puns all day.
So yes, inside this thing's chest, you can see 2 keys, one with the sun on it, one with the moon on it, a small egg, and a stained glass piece, sort of dusty but glowing from the inside, that looks like the number 4.
Okay, well, we'll take the bit of stained glass, we'll stack that against the watch.
And it does what it always does. It sort of dissolves into dust, and you can see it coalesce into your watch, and both you and Plus see the number 4 light up on your watch faces, matching the now it matches the outside of that giant's chest, where only the 1 and the 11 are missing.
Awesome. I think this might be the face. I'm gonna take all the keys and the little egg.
Yes.
What you got there, Friday?
Number 4's done. There's 2 keys with like yin-yang sun moon symbols on, and an egg that is silvery and gold and says, "For when you want to go home."
Oh, then you can get your ticket out of here.
Yeah, probably. We should probably make sure though and fix time first.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't like to leave a job unfinished.
Yeah, but this is kind of forced on you, right? You don't have to
I'm definitely a completer finisher in the workplace. When building teams, I'm usually the person that finishes things off. In fact, the starting bit was more of a struggle than this bit. I'm actually really enjoying this bit, so I'll finish the work off, yeah.
All right. I figure the other two might appreciate going if they are forced here too.
Where are you two from?
Last thing I remember, we were just fighting off like a bunch of warhogs, and then we like traveled into some woods, and then there was like a sparkle, and then like we just continued, and like 4 days later we popped up here. It's crazy.
Exactly what he said.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like, have you ever fought off like 20 warhogs?
Well, I don't want to take.
Okay, well, it's more like 2.
I don't want to take your ticket out.
We can just backtrack and try to find our way home the way you became. Should be fine.
Like usually, like when we meet new people, they do find their own way home. Usually, I'll hold on to it for a little bit. Maybe we'll find a natural portal. I mean, usually it's just me that can't return because of some queen messing game stuff. That's fine.
I still have no freaking idea what's going on here. This is
The queen's kind of she's not very well.
wait. So is there like some big, like there's a clock? There's a little birdie that went,
Yeah, like I said,
and all this stuff.
I think the giant is the face of the group.
So
And
if
the face of a clock.
time is broken,
Yes.
wouldn't time be broken for everyone, or is time only broken here? Like when we go home, will time be broken?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think the magic
Couldn't tell you.
travels the planes, but I doubt so. I mean,
Are we gonna go back at the same time?
Well, if we
I've
find
been-
out, I'll try and send you a message.
I've been led to believe that. Hence my, I'm in no rush. I mean, I'm pretty much next to stopped here, as far as I've understood.
Well, that's
Good as.
convenient.
Well, it's broken, isn't it? So.
But it could be broken the other way, and that would be very inconvenient.
That would be inconvenient.
Can everyone make me a perception check? Or give me your passives? Actually, yeah, everyone give me your passive perceptions.
Passive's a 15 here.
13.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Friday, what's yours? 15?
15.
Okay. So, everyone roll me dexterity saving throws. 2 of you who have 15 or higher roll at advantage.
10.
13.
I have a
My
plus
worst roll of the
7. And I got a 10.
Ooh!
Oh.
8's a lucky, right? 8's a lucky? Ah,
No!
not
No! Okay.
It's like one of them golden rules, that 8's a lucky. Roll 2
Okay.
8s. That's like rolling. It's as
Um,
good as rolling a nat 20, honestly.
Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna. How much is it? Ah, okay. Cool. So, as you're kind of standing here, you can catch out of the corner of your eye this creature has gone unmoving. And you can catch the sort of golden light that has been in its palm. There's something that sort of, almost like motes of dust, sort of flies out. Especially when you put the number back in the watch, you can see these motes of dust sort of fly out and coalesce into this one ball of swirling golden energy. You can see it all of a sudden sort of shoot up and wind up this thing's center. And you can see bits of it start to crack, golden light sort of running up and around it. And you can see it start to not shatter, but break and crumble. And you can feel that going through the entire cavern as bits sort of crumble and fall. Bits of the ceiling start to crumble and crash down. Everyone rolled real bad, so everyone takes 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
As this giant that has been towering over you, and then cavern itself sort of starts to crumble and fall, and you feel yourself all kind of sort of start to slide, almost as if you're on a mudslide.
Hurts.
Still, I
You
think
are
I'm
also
gonna-
now falling a little bit, like slowly falling, but like none of y'all made your save. You're all kind of like starting to slide down this thing as this cavern starts to crumble and the ground around you starts to crumble, and it seems like you're getting pushed downward.
I'm gonna
gonna-
use, if I can, my
Okay.
glaive to try and like slow myself down a little bit.
Okay, roll me a strength. Just
Can
roll me
I-
an attack roll with your
Can
glaive.
I help for that, please? I want to be shouting. I think I rolled so badly because I'm worried about my new friends. I want to shout across the dawn. Jump to the left. Now, step to the right. It's the time's warping again.
Now clap 2 times.
I'm sorry, Paladin. I'm sorry.
The look. Man, that look.
This is why we have guests on this show.
This is great.
On an 18, you are able to jam your glaive into the mudslide as it goes and sort of catch yourself. I don't think you're able to. Friday, you were helping just by shouting, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not able to grab Friday as you fall, but you are able to stop yourself and sort of steady yourself as everyone sort of starts to slide down into this pit. As you watch, you can see that golden light almost spiraling around as this cavern starts to collapse downward and downward and downward.
Hey, DM, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm a bird.
Yes.
Can I just fly down?
Yes.
I'm gonna fly down.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna take damage, but you can.
That's
fly.
fine, yeah. I'm gonna try and catch Clax.
Okay.
Nice.
Roll me a dexterity, or I don't know. What skill do you want to use to catch a flying
Let's
kobold?
go with acrobatics.
Okay, you can do it at advantage because
What?
I assumed Clax was going to help you, but you know it doesn't matter because
Wow.
you rolled
Double
equally.
24s.
So yeah,
Look at that.
Flus, describe how you catch Clax.
I'm just swooping down, and as I'm flying down, I'm going, arms up, arms up, arms up, arms up!
Go.
I would like to imagine his wings just like encompass me.
I'm assuming I think it's like the talons, just so.
Oh, the talons. Not the wings.
I'm grabbing you with my
He needs
feet.
the wings to fly.
Yes. Friday, what are you doing?
Well, I was shouting for my friend. I guess I'm just kind of falling.
Cool. Roll me another dexterity save
I also
with
just
disadvantage
realized,
because I have some.
I also just realized that my arms are separate from my wings.
Yep.
So I'm unstoppable now.
Doesn't that technically make you an insect?
No, there are more things than just having 6 limbs that make me not an insect. That is saying because I have 4 limbs, I am man. There was a Greek thing about that. No, I'm not an insect. I will let you be squished though. For more than just that comment.
I could just shut up and let y'all just bicker about puns for like the entire session. Okay,
Puns, nothing.
yeah. On a 10, you keep sliding and you try and get footing. You are unable to catch yourself.
Is it 60 feet? Is
Sure.
she more than 60 feet away?
No, she's about 60 feet away at this
Can
point.
I cast Unseen Servant to try and at least like stop her? It has a strength of 2 and 1 hit point, but it
Whoa,
might
like
be
a-
able to slow you down.
It's like a cushion.
Okay.
That is the only thing I have that can help in this situation.
Okay. Roll. What's your spell casting ability?
Intelligence, which is 0.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I love that.
That is so great.
Roll me a intelligence check. Let's see how well your unseen servant does.
okay. We're gonna find out.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Like the unseen
Okay.
servant there, and Friday falls here.
So, Don,
Whoops.
what does your unseen servant look like?
It is unseen.
Okay.
Someone clip that, please. What does your unseen servant look like? Unseen.
I was just wondering if there was any special magic.
Did not mean that to sound like it did. That was legitimately the first thing that popped in my head to respond to that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like sass. It wasn't like malice.
It was
just unseen.
honest. Okay.
Oh, shit, that's great.
Oh, we're not gonna get anything done. I'll see you guys next week.
So
Peace.
yeah, what happens is you cast this unseen serpent, and you can see the wave of the air where it goes like this, and then Friday goes right next to it. Friday, you're gonna take some damage.
This is fine.
That was yeah. It's not bad. You take 6 bludgeoning damage. You're fine.
I barely stumbled.
As you just sort of boomf. You are a little bit like winded, and you are lying face down in some dirt as everyone else sort of slowly slides down. Your unseen servant is still like giving you the unseen equivalent of thumbs up, like I did it.
Big good, buddy. I will leave it up. It lasts for an hour.
So,
So
as
might
we
as
all-
well.
As we all finally, what sort of ground are we eventually landing on?
You are landing on ground that looks like cobblestones, strangely
Okay.
enough.
So as we all finally get down there, Clax, just his natural reaction to make sure that everybody's okay, he just kind of like reaches off to his side and just kind of like pulls out what just looks like to be a small little orb, and he ends up dropping a turret, which will actually give everybody 1d8 plus my intelligence modifier, which is a 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
So that is 5 plus 5, 10 temporary
Okay.
hit points for everybody.
Oh gosh, everybody okay? Oh,
What does
What
your
the
turret
hell?
look like? You want to describe what it
So,
looks like?
As he pulls out this little orb, you see 8 little metallic legs just kind of spring from it. It just sticks into the ground. It looks like a creepy spider. And then at the top half of it, little tiny metallic shells just pop open, and a little red light just kind of almost. It just gives a burst, like a healing potion, but like a
Yeah.
in a 10-foot radius.
Yeah.
Radius, 10-foot radius.
So everyone can get those temporary hit points. And Friday, to add insult to injury, as you land face down, there is a soft sort of flutter as 12 sort of just lands on the back of your head.
Oh yeah.
You have fallen.
Just real quick, I drew this weeks ago, because something that someone had said in the stream. I just want you to know that upon seeing your spider, your construct, this is Flus's face.
I love that. Is this something that's happened already?
Just a look really has
Okay.
happened before.
I think that's Flus's permanent face.
No, just weird things and Friday's puns.
There.
That's fair. Yeah, Friday took so little damage though. That's like literally like, you know.
Do you want me to roll more, Scrat?
But it's like literally like 5%. So like she's literally just getting it. She gets up very quickly. I mean, she's just brushing herself off. Like, well, that could have been a lot worse.
As you sort of land, you can see this golden light sort of start to swirl around you and then Flus. Oh, and not necessarily doing a figure 8, but definitely like sort of hovering around the both of you.
All right then. Well, that occurred.
Have you put Clax down? I'm assuming you put Clax down, or is Clax still like flying?
I never said I put him down.
Okay.
It's still kind
I will
of
let him down now.
still kind of there, but you just kind of like tossed out what I had to.
Yeah. And Dawn, as you sort of finish sliding down, sort of using your glaive to gently like lower yourself down this slope, you can see now that you're on cobblestones. Unlike what I'd seen before, this area looks paved. Very similar to like what you had seen in that building, except it's another level down, and there is that same sort of ambient hum of magic sort of running through the cobblestones. You can see sort of as you've landed in this pit, you can see what looked like pillars sort of streaked up. again, sort of woven through with this sort of magic. You can sense, both you and Clax can sort of sense that sort of hum and spark of energy, those little rifts of magic sort of appearing down what looks like a hallway almost. And you can also see at the very center of where you had fallen, it's that this dais or this place where you have fallen, it has that same image. It's a clock face with the sun and the moon at the center.
It's getting weirder and weirder by the second, Don.
Well, this is certainly a step up from the swamp, at least.
Yeah. Is it? Really? Is it?
I mean, it's paved.
It's paved, but like we just. Are you okay? We just kind of fell. I mean.
Who, me? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, you guys, are you okay? Yeah. I tried to, make sure everybody's okay when I drop. And just,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally fine.
What the hell's going on here?
It's the
So what?
symbol.
What exactly is involved in fixing time? You keep saying you're going to fix time.
Well, just like I did a second ago, you see, I have this watch, which I think is like some kind of weird metaphor for time, and every time I get a number, I put it on the face, and then the numbers appear. So I've only got, is it 1 and 2?
1 and 11.
What? I've only got 1 and 11, all the ones to repair.
Can I take a look at that, please?
Sure. It used to be like some kind of weird spirit bound to me. It was literally I couldn't get off my wrist, but now I can
Wait,
seem to.
What do you mean
Yeah.
by spirit bound? Like
Oh, I don't know,
somebody's
like,
spirit was infused in there and was attached
Yeah.
to you some way?
Oh no. I just mean it wouldn't come off my wrist.
Oh.
Clax, as Friday hands this over, you can see literally on her wrist there is a scar around where the watch would be,
Almost like a burn?
goldenish in color.
Okay.
Also, don't wind the dial.
Sorry,
It does funny things to time.
Not gonna touch anything, just gonna look at it just so I can just check it out.
Or do
Kind of-
wind the dial.
If that's
I don't
okay.
control you.
I mean, I found if I wind the dial back, we go back in time, and if I wind the dial forward, things get squiffy.
I'm not really sure what squiffing means, but I'll take a look.
DM, what should I roll to look at this watch? Investigation, Arcana?
What do you want to roll?
Investigation.
Okay.
With another nat 20 on investigation with a 28. Wow!
Boy, okay. So on a nat 20, you get some juicy bits. Before I launch into the sort of what you describe, what's everyone else doing? Because I think the description might take a while because it is a nat 20, so you're gonna get some details.
I am because of how tonight has been going. I am going to use. Let's see here, Butterwort
Uh-huh.
on Clax.
Okay.
So we're just gonna
Is that?
be 10. Clax, you get. Let's see here. 12 temporary hit points.
Oh, sweet.
And then you immediately see Flus go "Pah!" and cough up some blood.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This happens.
Okay. Friday is giving the watch to Clax. Are you doing anything else, Friday?
I'll be standing over Clax's shoulder.
Okay.
I'm very interested in what they find, so I'll be like,
Okay.
you know, like when you're like when someone's looking at something and the other person is standing there like, and what does that do? Oh, okay, yep, that's me.
Okay.
I'm making all of those fill in, bounce off me sounds.
Okay. And Dawn, what are you doing?
I want to look at the clock.
Okay. As you're inspecting the sort of the small clock or the big clock?
The
that's on
big
ground?
clock.
Big clock on the ground. Okay. Roll. What do you want to roll to inspect the clock?
Really, it doesn't matter.
That
I will do. There's one thing I'm proficient in, and I don't know if it applies, but it'd be interesting. History?
You know what? Why not?
10.
God.
Nobody
Nat
wants to
20.
donate for that 20? Nobody wants
Hey,
to donate for that 20?
okay. I'm gonna look, chat. I'm gonna go describe what happens with clacks. If in the meantime anyone redeems an advantage, we can apply it retroactively. I'm just saying, it would be real fun. Anyways, leaving that up to chat. There it is.
Boom!
Hey.
At Hunter 6.
God, I love
Hell yeah.
bless. Okay, cool. So let's start with the investigation, and I think both of these will tie in very nicely. You're sort of fiddling around with this watch. You can see it is an arcane object, or there was some arcane creation, but it has very similar look to what you had sort of experienced when you were tinkering around with 12, where it feels, it looks mechanical, but there's something alive a part of it. Not necessarily like this thing is alive, but it has some living magic incorporated
Like a life force
into
of some
it.
sort.
Yeah, a life force or something tied that sort of ebbs and flows with like a heartbeat, but sort of that feeling of life inside it. As you're sort of looking around it, you're tinkering around, it looks like this clock itself was once built out of stained glass, and different parts of it have lit up. You can see, like as Friday was saying, there was the 1 and 11 have yet to be lit up. And you can tell, even though, like, you can, as you're sort of tinkering around with it and you're sort of investigating it and sort of prying a bits of it with some tools you have, you can see, like, even though the little wind that winds time forwards and backwards you don't move that, you can see there is, like with the egg, a very thin line around it that you can sort of almost twist.
And as Friday as she's hovering over my shoulder, I'm kind of noting all the little things.
Yeah, and definitely, and it's very similar to the end. There's just a little line here that looks like stained glass. It really feels like there's something living inside of it. But it's not like life force. It's something different. There's definitely something in here. Something of you. How did it feel when it was on your wrist? I saw that it had you had that little the golden burn. How did that one happen?
Well, it's just kind of attached. 12 was the first number I found, so like, I just slapped 12, like literally all of 12 on the face, and...
What was 12?
Sorry?
What was 12?
Oh, 12 was 12.
You took your bird-like friend and you slapped it against your wrist?
I just went, you're at 12, this is a clock, boom. And do you know what? It worked. A 12 appeared on the clock face.
So yes.
This is...
Yes.
I wasn't here for that. What the...
Yeah, what the...
12 was like, you slapped me against a clock.
Well, I mean,
We're all in the similar state of disbelief.
I didn't slap you again. I just, sort of like, put you on the clock face.
You said you were my friend.
I am your friend.
But you slapped me.
What time is dawn? Like, what time does dawn usually happen? Like, do you want to slap your watch against dawn? You think that'll work?
I turned to Dawn. Yeah, when do you happen?
What? She's like looking at the clock, like not paying any attention to you.
No, it's a time joke. Sorry.
That's a time joke, yeah.
Yeah, so.
So I have one question for you before we're gonna go pan over to what Dawn sees with that sweet nat 20. Do you twist the part of the watch where it looks like it can open like the egg?
Okay. See, the evil part of me wants to, but the good part of me doesn't. Yeah, it's one of those.
I will say on a nat 20, it doesn't feel like you when you get that sense of that magic or that hum, it doesn't feel malicious.
Friday did tell me not to.
She told you not to twist the little wind up, not the whole of the clock.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought there was just a wind up. I didn't know. There was a
so like there's like the little wind up on the thing, and then the entire thing like a.
Okay, so like a face, like a diving.
Like a donut.
I didn't realize the face twisted as well. I thought it was just that little knurled knob there.
So do you open the face?
I don't touch the dial on the side, but I do touch the
knob. Okay.
face.
I've never touched
Cool.
that before. I don't know what it does.
Okay, so on a nat 20 for history, though, we're gonna, before we see what happens when you open the watch, on a nat 20 for history, as you're sort of looking around this, you have read stories about the Feywild, and now that you know you are in the Feywild, bits and pieces are starting to filter back into place. You know that the Feywild myths themselves aren't always exact, and things oftentimes get conflated to fit how people in the material plane like to look at things in binary. You know that when you read about the Feywild in the material plane, you know that there are supposed to be two courts, oftentimes called the Seelie and the Unseelie, but you know that the Seelie is often represented by summer and the sun and light. The Unseelie is often represented by the moon and darkness and night. As you've explored the Feywild, you're starting to match things together. You've recognized that here in the Feywild, mechanical things and natural things grow one and the same. That's what you saw with 12. And you can see now with the clock that time and space have that same sort of conflation, where time itself dictates your location and clocks are essentially compasses. And as you sort of look at these things, you remember some of the stories that you heard about the Seelie and Unseelie court. You remember that they are often in conflict, and yet they don't have enmity towards each other. They exist mostly on two sides of the coin. You know that they will work together, and that sometimes that they would unite under a single Fey sovereign. You've heard legends of that. And on a nat 20, I will say that you recognize those sun and the moon symbols from a book you read very, very long ago about a very, very, very old myth about the Fey sovereign. This long, long lineage of someone who presided over both the Seelie and Unseelie court, also called the Dawn and the Dusk court. And that symbol, the pair of the sun and the moon, was their royal symbol.
Oh. Well, I don't know if you want to describe what happens with that before I say anything about this.
I will say, for the sake of time, so you don't have to rehash all that, you can just relay everything I told you.
Yeah, I basically am like, the symbol is the sign of the Dusk court, the court that resides over the... Yep.
The Dawn and the Dusk courts. And as you sort of finish that sentence, that's when the watch clicks. And it opens. And it's like that golden light that's been circling around Floose and Friday. It coalesces in the center of this watch, and then like a wave just sort of and spreads out across this courtyard, and all of a sudden you find yourselves caught in what looks like a memory.
So as the gold started spreading, Friday was getting used to this. She made a preemptive dex save, so I probably don't need to roll, but she does definitely dive away from the watch.
You dive away from the watch. You land face down on the ground. 12 sits on your head.
It's a deliberate dive, you know.
Yes, you still land face on the ground. 12 sits on your head. And as you sort of land, you don't feel anything weirdly. There's no that pain that you felt when the egg had broken, that sort of brilliant light. There isn't that. It's just sort of like this warm sort of tingling sensation. As everyone looks around, it's like an image or a memory is projected back onto this area. You see the courtyard itself is suddenly awash with like this holographic plants and flowers and very well tended topiaries. You can see these what was once like this caved in area around you has suddenly become like a palace courtyard. There's paved roads sort of lined with these beautiful flowering brushes, these long columns, these sort of tall gazebos. And as you're sort of watching this happen around you, you can see two figures, both of whom look exactly like Dodie, running and chasing each other across this area, sort of giggling and laughing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. What's going on? What is this? When is this? When just happened? I'm so sorry. I was trying to look at it to see what it was, and this happened.
You can see the two figures sort of as they run by. You can see them actually stop, and it's like they see Friday there, and you can see one of them go, sort of squat down. Hey, are you all right?
Do I recognize this child?
It looks like Dodie.
Dodie?
I'm sorry, who?
Dido.
That's not my name. Wait, that's not my name, right? And then the other one kind of goes, no, of course not. That's not your name.
What are your names?
Oh, well, I'm Tiandra, says the one talking to you. And then the other one goes, well, I'm Nadira.
Tiandra and Nadira, really?
We're sisters.
Oh.
And you can see they have that same sort of ethereal golden look to them, but they sort of wave at you.
Where are your parents?
I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. I'll ask where are your parents, but by all means.
Can I see and actually interact with them too?
Yes, you can. Everyone can interact with them.
Excuse me.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. What is this? Where is this?
This is our home.
Where is your home?
Well, it's Timepiece.
Timepiece.
Well, it's a big castle. Have you never been to the Feywild?
Apparently this is my first time. Me and my friend Dawn, we just kind of made our way
Which one of you
here.
is Dawn?
She's a big one.
Oh, hi,
Nice.
Dawn.
Pleased to meet your acquaintance.
She's what is this place? This
This
is
is our
fascinating.
home.
Yeah,
Well, this is our home.
this is
You can continue. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
this is fascinating. Are there more of you? Like similar to you?
Oh, no, it's just us two.
Just,
And Dawn, you can see it sort of on the images, the holographic images of their clothing. You can see that the embroidery of the royal crest on their garments.
Are you with the Dawn in the Dusk Court?
Yeah, our parents are.
Yeah?
Yeah. One of us is gonna be sovereign one day.
Huh. Would we be able to meet your parents?
They sort of look at each other. I mean, they don't really talk to people outside the Feywild, but I can probably go ask.
I'm gonna pipe up.
Yes.
Gonna use one of my 2 advantages.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna say, I am actually a resident of the Feywild, and these 3, 2 of them are recent acquaintances, and one of them is a friend. We're traveling right now, trying to fix something. It would be doing us a kindness if we could talk with the sovereign, with your folks right now. 29.
Okay. On a 29, you can see these 2 sisters sort of look at each other and go, okay, well, if you want to talk to our mom, then, she's kind of busy, but we'll go take you there. If you're really important, then yeah, it should be fine, right? And then the other sister goes, yeah, should be fine.
Only as important as my lady lets me be.
Please roll me a history check.
Yeah. 18. That never
Wow.
happens.
Wow, this guard, as you're sort of, as one sort of grabs your feathery hand claw thing, and then the other sort of reaches up to like hold Dawn's hand, and sort of like if you will take her hand.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Does it feel substantial?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like you're interacting with a fragment of a memory, but it's not your memory, but it's like a memory of the land itself. And so you can sort of walk Flus as you follow this person, this memory down this hallway, as they sort of lead you down this hallway. and you can see this golden light projected over these ruins. The golden images of these beautiful gardens and fountains and gazebos as you sort of follow along. Floos, this looks really familiar to you.
You'll see too, Dawn takes like a very formal, because she's from a noble background. So she you'll see her entire demeanor kind of shift as we go through these courtyards.
Okay. This looks really familiar to you, Floos. Like something that you had forgotten, and now you're seeing it again. And it's like something flashes, like there's something recognizes, like two ends of a fuse meet. And this looks really familiar. The hand holding yours feels really familiar. The steps you're taking feel really familiar.
Huh. Can I try and suss out where we're supposed to go?
Sure. What do you want to roll for it?
I am going to... So, ostensibly, if I'm piecing these together from familiarity, my profession, my whole thing is just to be a performer. Can I roll a performance check? Kind of like someone knowing where they need to be.
Sure. Reading your stage cues.
18.
Wow, okay. On an 18, this is... You recognize this, and it's like a memory from... It's a memory from before you knew your lady. You remember walking here in these very footsteps before you met your lady.
I am gonna now keep pace with the two girls.
And as they're walking, you can sort of the one holding Dawn's hand, Nadira, is sort of like, so where are you from? What are you looking for?
Around. Yeah, around. I can't.
My mom has a lot of friends, and she says that when we're older and one of us is sovereign, we're going to have a lot of friends too.
Right. I don't have a lot of friends, except for these ones I made recently. I only really had my lady for the longest time.
Well, who's your lady? And this child looks up at you, and it looks wildly familiar.
She's just my lady.
Oh, she seems really nice.
She's 10 kinds of wonderful.
And I need everyone, as they sort of lead you down, and you can see them leading you to, and as you're walking, it's like this golden image of a memory superimposed on these ruins, and you see yourself sort of enter into a chamber. The reality of it is very ruined. You can see tapestries torn and slashed. You can see bits of it broken, crumbling and falling apart. But the golden memory that's sort of plastered around it, it is a beautiful palace foyer. These tall stained glass windows stretching up to the sky, and these beautiful tapestries sort of hanging down. And I need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
10 with a 0.
Team 10.
Hey.
Yeah.
And as that as you enter this area, you can see the memory around it start to glitch. You can see these bits of this gold light sort of start to flicker, and all of you can sort of hear these voices. They are the child's voices, but they're angrier. You can hear them yelling at each other, and you can tell their voices get lower in pitch as they get older. You suddenly see an image of these two figures, older now, in their teens, early 20s, standing on opposite sides of the room, and you can see the image sort of shatter and shudder, and as you see these two figures yelling at each other, you can see one is wearing the garments with the sun embroidered on it. The other is wearing the garments of the moon. You hear their voices piercing in your head. Why did you let... You're always caught up in... Why did you get to be sovereign? Why not me? You weren't good enough for it. That's obviously why I was chosen. And you can hear them bickering and yelling and snapping at each other. It's like, fine, you want me to prove I am worth being sovereign? Fine, I will! And there is a shudder and a break, and everyone who rolled lower than a 15 takes... I rolled Garbo. 5 points of psychic damage as this thing breaks, and you hear that shriek, that shrill, those voices yelling in your head, and the image sort of shatters, and you can see the image of the one with the sun on their chest, which, Floos, you recognize now as your lady, get hit with something and shatter into 12 pieces. You see the world around you warp. You see the ruins start to crumble and fall. You see the remaining sister stand tall and sad with regret in her eyes, picking up the pieces of a crown and putting it on her head and walking away. And it shudders again, and you can see the image of a child again, alone, with only the moon on her chest, sort of looking up at Dawn and Clax. You want to go home?
Max's jaw is just like wide open.
You want to go home?
I mean,
Clax looks at Dawn. Looks at Floss.
I don't think we belong here. I'll look at Friday.
I'll stay a little while yet. A little longer.
This child sort of holds out her hands, one to Clax and one to Dawn. You don't belong here.
No, we definitely don't. This is not her home.
I made a mistake.
This
I can fix this one at least.
Floss, are you okay?
I am going to pluck one of the feathers from my wing and walk over to Clax and just kind of place it in his clothing. And kind of visibly shaking and red-eyed, looking at Clax. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh no.
Still seems like a mighty big job, but good luck.
And
I think we have to go home.
this child sort of reaches out and takes both of your hands, and Friday and Floos, you can watch as these two are bathed in a very silvery light and disappear. And the both of you disappear along with that small child. And the both of you can hear crying in the corner. When you turn to look, you see Dodie with the sun on her chest, sort of sitting among the ruins of the cavern. You can see the memory fade until it's just Dodie, sort of golden and shimmering, crying at the base of what looks like an old throne.
Dodie?
Yeah?
How you doing?
I made a mistake.
What kind of mistake?
You're going to have to go back to where it started. You can see her start to fade out as the rest of the memory starts to fade. This is my home. You need to find me. Go back to where it started. Find me and my sister.
You know I will.
She smiles and disappears. And that is where we're ending today's episode of Downside Up.
Wow.
Good stuff. So
Wow.
good.
Heck, I haven't even updated the damn credits. Mackenzie, outro people for me while I update the credits. will
Okay.
you?
All right. So, thank you so much for playing. This was a wonderful episode full of laughs, tears of the laughter variety, and then also some juicy lore bits because we only have 3 more episodes left of Downside Up, and things are gonna get spicy. But thank you so much for everyone joining us today in chat and watching. Let's go around, say hello to everyone one last time, see where we can find them. We're gonna go the other way around. So let's start with Professor PFM. Oh hi.
Hello again, and thank you. That was absolutely amazing. I was trying to catch every little bit I could, just try to piece it together. But hey, everybody, if you want to find me, you can find me on the Twitters at Professor PFM, and you can also follow us at my podcast that I Dungeon Master for at Misfits_Guide, which is the Misfits Guide to Adventuring.
Awesome. And then we're gonna go back to Megan. Oh hi. You have two different.
hi.
You have 2 different handles.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this. I don't know what to say.
I have 2 different handles. Bullets and Bracelets in Twitch, Megan_star9 if you want to follow me on Twitter. That was amazing. I love the lore. I love the story. Now I have to go back and actually watch episodes I missed. But thanks so much for letting me join. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on this very fun, lore-heavy, and surprisingly egg-heavy episode. Anyway, speaking of egg, HDD Paladin, who are you? Where can we find you?
Hi there, my name is HD Paladin. You can find me online at Twitter under HD Paladin. I'm the co-director of the Islands of Sina Una, which Mackenzie can tell you all about.
Oh yes, oh hi, and that is me. Perfect segue. So I'm Mackenzie Lane DA on Twitter. I am the lead writer for the Islands of Sina Una, an upcoming project, an upcoming setting for D&D 5, or an upcoming 5e setting based around pre-colonial Filipino culture and mythology. It's going to include 12 new subclasses, 1 for each base class in the SRD, as well as 2 entirely new classes, a whole setting guide, an adventure, magic item spells, and more. It's on pre-orders now over on the Deck of Many's website. Go check it out. It's super exciting. You can also find me as a contributor for D&D Beyond, as one of the co-designers for MTDM, and as a player over on Gilding Light every Friday for Zyra, the Cypher System fantasy campaign DM'd by the wonderful Alice Cleaver. Last but certainly not least, Scratticus. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are your sponsors?
Hi everyone. Perfect segue. The Deck of Many, Hit Point Press, the Deck of Many company. They're producing pre-ordered Sina Una. They also have a huge Kickstarter on at the minute. Go and check it out. Lots of cool things, animated moving cards, like these
Scrat,
ones.
do you want me to do the sponsors?
I'm good, thank you. Level 6 to 9 SRD spells available and tarot cards at $700,000, which is their next goal. They will be releasing a deluxe tarot card box set, which looks incredible. It includes like a nice mat and lots of really cool things. Also, check out. I did already put many in there. Check out Mage Hand Press. Mage Hand Press sponsor this episode, which is the Fey Folio, their Feywild expansion for 5e, one of their many expansions. You can find this PDF on their website with a 25% discount. For once, don't use my code because that's only a 15% discount. Use their built-in 25% discount as they're supporting distant socializing. Also, there's a whole bunch of other things you can check out over there as well. They've got a bunch of good content. Go and check them out. Our longest running sponsor, Hero Forge. Before this episode, you might have seen us making minis. In fact, I did make a mini of Friday as well. It's over in the Discord, so you can go and find it in there. Hero Forge, they make all of these wonderful multi-hued minis for all of your magical misadventures. You can go and check out their website right now and have access to their grayscale one, unless you backed their $3.1 million Kickstarter, in which case you can have access to the full color versions, which are being released over time. All of the new features are being released. Should be available later this year. Last but most certainly not least, Dungeon Fog. I spelt it the third time. Dungeon Fog, you can find all of your map-making utensils there. Top-down maps, you can make buildings and creatures and assets and all sorts of cool things. When you like it, you can upgrade to premium using our 10% discount code, Scratticus. we're going to go and set up the next show. Whew! It's a thing. Yeah, okay. We're going to go set up the next show in about half an hour. Until then, keep on evoking emotions, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.